Hey guys, so today I'm working down the very end of my driveway, and I've always thought this particular corner looked like a giant mess. Want to chop down this tree and chop down that one. Um, and then this is where our drains from our um, gutters come down and just basically pour a whole bunch of water when it rains really hard. And so it's kind of just like a catch-all place. And so what I'd like to do is turn this into a place that catches with plants. So I got some sedum and some hostas, and I'm going to add a bunch more variety of hostas and different sedums, things that'll really thrive in this shaded area, which gets a ton of water. So the first thing on the agenda is to clean this area up. So I'm going to rake it out and cut out all the salmonberries, which I've already hacked back at least 2 or 3 times. Okay, so as you can see, there's a variety of weeds and then salmonberries, and then just kind of just this giant sludge pile of twigs and leaves. And so I've kind of cleaned it out, all this area down to like there where that salmonberry starts. And then I've got to kind of work down this area. I have gutted this whole thing of salmonberries twice at least. And honestly, this whole area looks way better. This was filled to the brim with salmonberries. And now it's kind of just on this perimeter. So it shouldn't be that too bad to clean out. So let's get started with the clean out and then we can plant. I've got these two sedums right here. Oh, that one kind of got broke. And then I've got 3 different hostas. Some got a little banged up, but they'll be fine. And I'm just excited. I'm going to tuck the hostas and the sedum kind of down this like downspout area and kind of stagger them down. And then I can just keep adding more varieties of hostas and ferns and sedums kind of down this whole area. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with this whole like bottom area, but I just want to get it cleaned up so it looks nice. This is the first thing you see when you kind of come down our street and turn onto our driveway and go up the hill. And so I just really want this to like look a little bit better than it currently does. So let's get started with the cleanup. I've got my Crocs on, Crocs and socks. Just, the perfect cleanup yard project shoes. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so I got quite a big majority of the salmon berries, and it looks really good. There's a big chunk of salmon berries over here, but I just don't think I want to deal with that because it's like at the end of the rock. It's fine. So I'm just gonna get this tree cut and that little guy cut, and then I'll be ready to rake this all out and then pop in our new shade plants. It's gonna look so good. Okay, it is, I don't even know how many days later, maybe like 5 or 6, almost a week later. And I acquired more plants, and I'm finally going to finish like the first stage of this like shaded garden area hosta party. I don't know what to call it. So I acquired this whole new bucket of hosta starts from my mother-in-law in town. I went and collected some from her house. So we've got these big, beautiful green leafy ones with a blue kind of tone to them, some bright lime green, some variegated, which usually I see the variegated ones that have like, the outside edge. This one has the stripe down the middle, which I think is pretty. think this one might be a lime green one, same as the other one. I don't know if there's any other varieties. Oh, and then there's a sedum in there. I've got this like two-tone green. I think that's a regular green, some astilbe. We've got ferns, we've got sedums, we've got some primrose, ground cover, more hostas, we've got more sedums, more primrose, and then I think those are some daffodil bulbs that I accidentally collected, and so I just threw them in there. A couple forget-me-nots I'll probably toss in, and then some sweet woodruff. And it is looking really good. So we're kind of getting this waterfall of shade-tolerant plants to fill in, and I'm going to start to plop all these ones in this spot, right in front of this big boulder and kind of in front of my sign, and then I'll kind of keep scooting this giant pile of stuff over and over and over as this project continues. But I would eventually like to have this whole kind of like waterfall of shade plants coming down and kind of filling this entire bed area so that you have something really pretty to look at when you first come up our driveway. So that is the plan. Let's get these extra hostas and sedum in there, quick tuck them in the ground, and then we'll be officially done with part 1 of the shade hosta garden at the bottom of the driveway. It's gonna look so good. So the cool thing about these trailing things like this primrose is that it is actually evergreen, so it will stay glossy and green and beautiful like this all season long. If it's in the shade, it'll stay just green and glossy and evergreen, but if you put it in the sun, it will actually get these really pretty purple little sweet blossoms on the end of the stems, and oh my god, it's so pretty. But it trails naturally, it kind of sends off these runners, and I'm just really excited to see how that kind of fills in between these hostas. And then the other one that will spread is this other ground cover called sweet woodruff, and it has these obviously bright white beautiful little blossoms. The leaves are really fun. They kind of remind me of lupines because they're just like the shape of them and everything. They're just beautiful. And then it has a really sweet smell when you run your hand over it. Sometimes you can just walk by and get a waft of it. It's so pretty. That concludes part 1 of the clean up the end of the driveway project. It will continue over the course of the summer, I'm sure, and into the next couple of years. I'll just continue to kind of fill this in and make it this beautiful shade garden. And I just love shade gardens. I think all the greenery is just really lovely. The other thing I want to show you guys quick before I let you go is all these little starts. These are all blue flax seeds that I planted all around the base of the mailbox because I thought our local paper, we have a mailbox for it, so I just thought it'd be cute to have all these little blue flowers popping out. And then I actually came before we got a whole bunch of rain. I don't know if you can see this from down here, but I basically threw an entire packet of wildflower seeds down this entire little train right here, and they're all popping up, all different types of wildflowers. So this whole area, I don't know if you can see, it kind of runs all the way up and over. So it'll look like a flower is just pouring down, because that spot does get a lot of light in the middle of the day. It'll pour down all those flowers and into this crack right here to fill in and cover that stump. And then they'll pour down, and then it'll just turn into like hosta shade oasis. How fun is that? Well, I love it. Okay, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you later.